good morning, welcome back to my channel. I'm Debbie from Debbie's World and it's time for another recipe. Now a lot of you have been asking for a dessert recipe. You're not straight as usual. And I've seen this in the latest magazine, which is Jan-Feb 2020, issue 150, and on page 81 there is a chocolate sponge and custard, and it says our school dinner fave is back and it's had a low sin makeover too. So this is everyday on the everyday easy plan. It serves 8, sins per serving is 4 and ready in 45 minutes. And the cook's note says you can make this dessert ahead as the sponge will keep for a couple of days in a sealed container in the fridge. Simply reheat individual pieces of sponge for the microwave for 1 minute until piping hot, then divide over the hot custard. So we need 5 medium eggs separated, 3 level tablespoons of sweetener granules, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 60 grams of self-raising flour, 30 grams of cocoa powder. I've gone for green and blacks, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 25 grams of milk chocolate, and 250 grams of low-fat custard, which I haven't got out yet, but I will show you during the video. So the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 190, fan 170 or gas mark 5, and line a 20 by 20 centimetre tin with baking paper. And then we'll have a look what the next step is. Right, so for the first step of the chocolate sponge, I have got some boiling water in a pan and boiled it up and put a heat-proof dish on the top. Taking it off the heat, and then we need to separate our eggs. Yes, you're recording. So we need to separate 5 eggs. So the egg whites need to go in the hot bowl and the yolks need to be put aside for later. So to my bowl I'm going to add 3 level tablespoons of sweetener, the one I'm using at the moment is Silver Spoon granulated sweetener, and then I'm going to whisk with my new spangly device, when I can show you it, a Can Geek hand blender that you can also use as a whisk, and beat until they form stiff peaks. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So there is my egg whites whisked into stiff peaks. Put that back on the hot bowl. Then add back in my egg yolks and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Don't know where the lid's gone, but we'll find it later. And then we need to whisk for 2 to 3 minutes until thick and glossy. So let me just show you this working. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So in my bowl I've got the eggs, which have been separated and then whisked together, and the sweetener and the vanilla extract. And then in this bowl I've got 60 grams of self-raising flour, 30 grams of cocoa powder and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I'm just going to sift that in. And then gently fold it in with a metal spoon, trying not to knock the air out. I I think I'm also going to add, because I like things sweet, some S'mores skinny syrup. Because it'll be quite chocolatey and that is quite a rich cocoa powder. So I'll come back when I've stirred all that in. So here is my mix in my tin, all mixed up well. Don't forget to scrape the bottom of the bowl because sometimes you can get some of the flour and stuff stuck at the bottom of the bowl. And so the oven should be preheated to 190 as I said earlier, and we need to bake that for 10 to 12 minutes until risen and set. So I'll put this in my preheated oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm just finishing off my chocolate sponge and custard. Here is the cake out of the oven. It's been cooling for quite a while. It's maybe a bit thinner than what it looks like in the pictures, but we'll see how it tastes. And then here we've got 25 grams of milk chocolate, which I'm going to melt in the microwave, or you can do it in a heat-proof bowl over a pan of hot water, however you want to melt it. So that is the sponge with the chocolate on top. I haven't been very artistic with it. As you can see, they've used like a squeezer bottle like this, which you can get from Amazon. But I think you'd waste too much of the chocolate doing it like that, so I've just spread it over the top. So now I'm going to divide it up, and later on when I eat it I'll come back and tell you what I think. So this is 1/8 of the cake, and you can see I've got the little bit of chocolate, melted chocolate spread over the top, and I've also got about 30 to 40 grams of light custard. So everything together there is 4 sins. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave now to warm it through, and I'll come back and tell you what this is like. And I'm also now giving feedback on the chocolate sponge and custard. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You do have to remember that the recipe says 250 grams of custard between 8 servings, so that is just over 30 grams, which is not a lot of custard. So do bear that in mind if you buy some low-fat custard. I do think it was easy to make once I'd got everything together. I'm not sure whether it rose as much as the one in the picture, but it still tasted really nice. It's really light and airy, quite chocolatey. It's not overly sweet. So if you have a very, very sweet tooth, you might want to add a little bit more sweetener or a little bit more skinny syrup. But I found with the chocolate on the top and the custard on the side that it was very nice. And it does actually feel quite spongy. It's not just all air. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And for 4 sins, it's worthwhile making, especially if there's 1 or 2 of you in the house that are on Slimming World. So I'll certainly be having 1 or 2 more portions over the next couple of days. I may try freezing 2 or 3 squares of it. And if I do, I'll try and remember on another vlog to mention how that goes. But yeah, it was something that I'll consider making again. But if you make it, do let me know, and thank you very much for watching.